Have you ever just wondered why is it so difficult to start a business? I have a lot of ideas, but I don't seem to have a roadmap to success. Well, in today's video, we're going to talk about business planning. We're going to talk about what is a business plan and what are the three core functions of a business plan. So stay tuned. So before we deep dive a business plan, I thought it'd be wise to look at what is expected in a business plan. So here I have an outline of a business plan of what you might expect in a business plan. So the first thing is that you'll find is an executive summary. In this executive summary, you have a concise overview of the entire plan. Essentially, it lets the reader know exactly what they can expect, but essentially it's the hook to grab their attention. Next, you have the company description, and the company description, essentially it's just details about your business, your mission statement, the products and service offered, legal structure, the ownership structure, the history, if applicable. And so you might be a business leader who started a business, haven't been successful, but you still have some history, but you're watching this video and saying, hey, I need to create a business plan. Or contrary, you might be a successful business leader, had a business plan, and you might say, hey, you know what? I'm watching the video and I just found out that having a business plan, the business plan is a living document. So I need to keep it updated and keep it fresh with new information and new data. Next, you might have a market analysis. Essentially, it is analyzing the industry you'll be operating in. What are the trends, the growth potential? All right. What is the competitive landscape? Next, you'll have the target market. This identifies who is your ideal customer, the demographics, their needs, their wants, their preferences, buying behavior, the market size, any growth potential. You got that. So next you might have a competitive analysis. Who are you competing with? What do they offer? What are the pricing strategies, the weaknesses, the strengths, any opportunities in the market where your competitors aren't operating in, where it leaves a blue ocean for you? All right, next you may have organizational and management teams. You basically are describing your organizational structure, just the key roles and the reporting lines. In terms of your management team, what are the qualifications and experience of those key personnel? You might have an advisory board, a board of advisors that helps advise on key strategic decision making, help you assess risk. Service and production line. Here it's just detailed description of your offering. What are the features, the benefits, the pricing strategy, the IP, if any. How would you deliver that value to your potential customers? Your marketing and your sales strategy. For the marketing strategy, how will you reach and engage your customers? In terms of your sales strategy, how will you generate leads, close deals, and build relationships with your customers? What are the sales channels, the sales team structures, your customer service plan? Next, you'll have financial projections. What are the key financial statements? And these are projected. You might have the income statement, which is essentially your P&L, how profitable you are in a given period of time. Your balance sheet, basically, how financially healthy are you? Your cash flow statement, which is tracking your inflow of cash, your outflow of cash, whether it's operating activities, financing activities, or investment activities. Then you might have a funding request. Hey, I need some funding. This is how much I need, and this is where I'll be using that money for. And then last, you might have an appendix, which you might have some supporting documents, which is, market research, data, charts, license, permits, things of that nature. Now that we know the main functions or the main sections in a business plan, let's go over what is a business plan. It is essentially a roadmap to get us from A to B. It's a roadmap for success. Imagine you're going on a road trip and you say, hey, I'm going on a road trip. You haven't game plan on, where are we going? Exactly, where are we going? Do I need a boat? Do I need a parachute? Do I need a car? And then are we going to, stop to go to the restroom, let the dog out? Are we going to stop to eat, fill up the vehicle? It is a plan. It's a roadmap, but it's a plan to help you to get to point A to point B. All right. So on a road trip, you're going to plan things out. You just don't go. You have to plan. And so with a business plan, you want to develop that roadmap so that you can be successful. That is a business plan. It's a roadmap to success. Now that we know what a business plan is, which is a roadmap to success, business success, we're going to talk about the 3 core functions of that business plan. All right. So the first core function, it is to bring structure and guidance. Structure and guidance. When you have structure and guidance, it tells you what to say no to. It helps you develop a great operation. And so when you think about structure and guidance, the first thing I want to talk about is clarity and focus. You can't be all things to all people, so you have to figure out exactly what you're going to do, what product or service you're going to offer. You're going to have to develop the offering to that market, to that target audience, to that target customer. And you need to have clarity and that focus so that you can build a great operation that is very efficient at producing that product or service time and time again, over and over, repeatability with the same quality. And so here, this is the golden goose that lays the golden egg. A business and its operation is a machine to produce that value for the customer that brings in revenue and profits. Another part of this is, what operations is concerned, is COGS. The second core function is all about investment. So it attracts investment. Well, how does this business plan attract investment? Well, the first thing, there is financial planning. There's projections. And so when you have projections in your financial planning, I want you to think about the income statement. Which is also known as the P&L, your profit and loss. This statement lets you know how profitable you are in a given amount of time. So this can be, over a year or a quarter or a month. Next, within that financial planning, you might have what you call a balance sheet. What the balance sheet is just basically telling the business, the investors, creditors, as well as stakeholders, which could be you, your employees, how financially healthy that organization is. When you look at all of those different entities, the business, if the company and the business is not financially healthy, maybe it needs to cut back on operations. Or if it is, maybe it needs to double down on certain investments in the business so that you can produce more and to produce more profits. Maybe for the creditors, they're looking at how healthy you are because they want to know, how much should we give them? How much should we loan this organization? And can they pay it back? Investors may look at, if we give them money, do they have the operations and the means? What is that return of investment? That value that is brought back to the investor, is it worth it? and to your employees and to you, is it worth going into business to do this? If we're going to lose money, if we did this, this financial planning, we find out that we're going to lose money, is it worth doing this? And then the last thing is you have the cash flow statements. And with the cash flow, what are you measuring? You're measuring the in and out flows of money. When you measure the inflows and the outflows of money, you're essentially saying, where did the money go? Where's the money coming from and where is it going? Did you know businesses can be a profitable business but go out of business because they ran out of money, they ran out of cash? Maybe they couldn't pay their suppliers, maybe they couldn't pay their rent or the bills, but money came in later on, but in the short term, they couldn't pay their bills, so they ran out of business. They couldn't produce the goods that their customers wanted because they ran out of money. And that is a possibility. And so when you're looking at the inflow and outflow, we look at the inflow and outflow of both of the operating activities. And when you look at the operating activities, when we build goods and services, that's money coming in when people are buying our goods and services, and then money going out because we have to pay rent, utilities, we have to pay for various maybe software, maybe SMEs, subject matter experts that come in to help with the operations or with the specific product that we're trying to build. And so these are all operating activities where money comes in and comes out. All right, so then with operating activities, next we have financing activities. Maybe we raise money from investors. Maybe investors saw what we were doing and said, hey, take this cash, take this liquid, take this money, because I want you guys to succeed and I want a little cut of it too. So that's the money coming in. But then also money is leaving out because maybe the shareholders have to pay off debts. Maybe they have to pay dividends, and that's more for the public sector. All right, so now we have operating activities, you have financing activities, and then you also have investment activities. With the investment activities, maybe we sold some assets. Maybe we have some assets, some IP, some patents. Maybe we have some trademarks. Maybe we have some assets that we sold off that brought in cash. But then maybe we need some assets to produce this new product or service that we found out through our planning that growth could happen. We can grow the company by 20% if we invest in this piece of equipment to produce it with better quality. So that's cash going out. So again, when we look at the cash flow statement, the cash flow statement is about the inflow and outflow of money with operating activities. This is financing activities and investment activities. And so altogether, cash flow statement, balance sheet, income statement, also known as the P&L. This is our financial planning, which are projections in our business plan. That is the second reason, or the second core attribute or the core function of having a business plan, that it attracts investment through your financial planning. Part, or the third function, is that it communicates value proposition. It communicates your unique value proposition. Now, when I talk about unique value proposition, the thing that I really want to hit home is that in the 21st century business is like no other in history. The first thing that you have to understand in 21st century business is that there's so many people that have an offering, that have a product and service. And so the first thing that you have to understand in 21st century business is that the product must solve a problem. So it's a solution. It's a solution for a pain point for your ideal customer. And we talked about the different sections of your business plan and that market analysis, understanding and identifying your ideal customer. What solution could I give them so that their pain point is no longer a pain point anymore? But maybe that worked, years ago, maybe in the last century, but in this century, there's so much competition. And especially here in the United States, where it's a capitalist society and there's a lot of competition in the marketplace. So you not only need a solution, but you also need to build trust and credibility. How do you build trust and credibility in the marketplace? That is by delivering what is expected of you over and over and over again. So not only are you operating in a 21st century, you have a business solution for a pain point for your ideal customer, but you're doing it time and time and time and time again. You built the trust and that credibility. But that's not it in the 21st century business. You need to do all those things with a tribe or within a network or fans. People buy from those who they know, trust, and like. So not only in 21st century business do you have to communicate your value proposition, you have to understand that you're operating in the 21st century. 21st century business states that you need to have a solution, you need to be credible and trustworthy, and not only are you, trustworthy, but there is a certain type of person, a certain avatar that you want to sell your product and service to. If you sell beer, for example, there's a lot of people that, drink beer. There's craft beer, there's draft beer, there's beer. There's so many types of beers. And there's so many different types of people who drink beer. But who are you going to sell your beer to? If you are a beer maker, you do craft beer, are you going to focus it towards women? Are you going to focus it towards, health enthusiasts? Are you going to focus it to men who in sports? Are you going to focus it towards, some other demographic that likes beer? Maybe it's beer specific for the military. Maybe it's specific for engineers or, those that are in IT and technology. These are the things that you have to think about. People like beer because it's a socializing drink. And maybe you've built a name for yourself, so there's trust and credibility there. But then you're still competing with a lot of people because there's a lot of other beers out there. Now you develop a tribe or a network or some fans around what you're doing because what you do resonates with them more than any other beer company can. You can supply value to that ideal customer better than anyone else. And that is the key to 21st century business. And that is the key to communicating value to your ideal customers. And that is your value proposition. So that's business planning. Today we talked about what is a business plan and the 3 core functions of a business plan. We also talked about the different sections that you might have in your business plan. And so with that said, if you need help with your business planning, you want to dive deeper into exactly what you got going on in your business, in your organization, feel free to reach out to me. I have a link in the description. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.